Our reaction to the 2024 Haas F1 car launch.
There's a car.
Oh, there's...
And lights on.
Oh, it's...
Very similar. A better version of last year. It looks cool.
Is it more white?
More black. Oh, no.
Oh, I thought it was more... If it is...
It looks really cool, but I'm very concerned that every car is now going to be black because McLaren got rid of all the blue and were very much black with a bit of orange.
Oh, it's so underwhelming. I hate... Make more effort, Formula One teams. Car launches are a special time of the year. Rolling out a minute video that didn't even premiere properly to then show us a car that's just very average. Like, I want to hear...
the first one.
I want to hear Gunter Steiner's replacement talk to me about how much we all miss Gunter. Let's get our first thoughts out the way, shall we, Tommy? It's probably the most boring, clean car you'll probably see. Like, it looks good, and if it was a unique, one-of-a-kind thing, you'd go, oh, it's quite a... You know, I love the black, and then the accents of the white, and then the red. But we're very much in a... part of Formula One where this is normal. This is not any kind of sideways step when it comes to livery design. This is straight down carbon vibes with a bit of accents for the team branding.
You're right. A few years ago, when this would have been really exciting, and I think when the cars were painted, throwback to 3 or 4 years ago, which is a wild thing to think about now, and that's why it's kind of so annoying. I think it would have looked really, really cool. But, you know, we may or may not see a black Mercedes or carbon Mercedes again. We've just seen a McLaren, which is going to be carbon with some orange on it. We're going to see steak on Monday, which I'm predicting already is going to be a lot of carbon with some bright green lines on it. And it just makes you wonder that, yeah, it kind of loses that excitement, and it's not the most interesting color scheme either, just white and red, similar to last year, so it does just feel a bit underwhelming, whereas it's so weird because on the grid you look at it and it is underwhelming and you kind of feel like you want to give it like a 3 or a 4 out of 10, but if it was like you separated all the context, everything else, it's actually a really nice, clean looking livery, and they've done a good job with it. But it is just what they've got to deal with this new regulations, which I really hope it changes, because I really don't want to see livery season just become this kind of, here's a carbon car with a line on it.
Hopefully this will change, fingers crossed, because we want that identity between each team to be very, very clear. First question comes in from JL Rube. Is an underwhelming launch perfectly on brand for Haas? Is this your burner account, Tommy? Because I know that you're loading up some slander on this team, so we'll wait to see when that one comes out. But I think it is, I guess, on brand with where Haas are, in the sense of they don't have the resource, the facilities, the place in order to maybe host a really amazing car launch, and you know, they probably sit down at the start of the year or the end of last year and go, so what are we going to do for our car launch this year? Well, we don't really have any money to spare, and Gene has been on the phone telling us to save every penny, so having mechanics dancing around with front wings and tyres in their hands and doing all kinds of crazy stuff on our car launch for a car that is probably going to finish 10th in the Constructors anyway is probably not the best use of our resource and money. So yes, it is on brand. I think it very much reflects on where Haas are at the moment, and I didn't expect anything more from them.
No, like you say, it is underwhelming to say the least, which, like this person says, is perfectly on brand for Haas. They don't seem to sort of push the boat out, but what frustrates me is we've just seen Andretti, for example, have their bid rejected, and Andretti are a legendary name. They've won in everything that they've competed in. They're clearly putting so much effort to the point where they were literally like, we've got a car from 2025, and they were really going ham, the facilities, everything. They've shown how serious they are, and then you get Haas, which are, in my opinion, a waste of a grid spot. if Andretti aren't going to be allowed on there, because Gene Haas doesn't want to invest in it. They've got a underwhelming livery, an underwhelming driver lineup, and there's just nothing about them. They have a huge opportunity as this American team when America is like hugely into Formula One at the moment, and they are just not even remotely. They're not even like a likable underdog either, in my opinion. I don't know what it is about them. They're just soulless, basically.
I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do much slander. And then ends it saying that they're soulless. Next question comes in from Dom EFC. Why do Haas never capitalise on being the only US team and going with a US-style livery? I don't know, really, to be honest with you. Maybe it's because they don't have a lot to shout about by being at the back, and maybe that in turn they just decide to not go down that route because it's not going to benefit them in any way, and if anything, make them potentially more memeable and silly if they're trying to be like, oh yeah, stars and stripes, and they're at the back.
Stick an eagle on the nose cone.
Yeah, hire Logan Sargent. Boom,
just go.
You're
for
absolutely sorted. But yeah, I guess it's linked with just the fact they're so hindered by not being able to spend a huge amount of money every year in order to develop this team. They are just trying to survive and praying for a miracle, but that's been going on for quite some time now.
I do feel bad for slandering them, and I want to say like this is no disrespect to like all the people working there, because clearly the problem is at the top and it's not being funded enough to give it a proper go. So like they're already they're never going to be able to compete with the investment and the lack of effort that is being put into them. So they're already like on the back foot. So, and it just makes them like a bit of a laughing stock, really.
Anyway, let's move on to another question. This one comes in from Sam Dougie Douglas. If you were Haas, would you not just give up and sell to Andretti? I think I can see this being probably the way out. I don't know how many years down the line Gene Haas decides to continuously burn money here, but I think eventually they will just go, there's no point anymore. But the fact that they've sacked Gunter to get another team principal in gives me the impression that they're at least going to give this until the new regulations, if not maybe a year into that, to roll the dice again to see if they can come up with something that's decent. And if not, if at the end of 2026 they're still not great, that's when they bin it off and potentially sell. That's, in my head, the journey for Haas from here.
Especially like if Haas really want to promote their power tools or whatever, just sell the team, use that money, and stick a big Haas logo on the Andretti or something. Like what are they getting out of Formula One at the moment? I don't know. I know they wouldn't, but well, they could sponsor another car. Like, there's nothing to say they couldn't. Like,
that would be quite the quite the downfall, wouldn't it? We've left F1, but there's our sticker still remains. Okay, next question. Charlandos. Why did Charles start a live literally the second the premiere was starting and finish the live 2 minutes later? I did wonder that. I was like, wait, is Charles Leclerc somehow linked to this Haas launch with the fact that they have Ferrari engines and stuff? Loaded up the Instagram live. No, he's karting. I think it was just a terrible coincidence, personally. But also, it was to the second almost as the Haas car launch started.
It was like,
and I was like,
oh,
what?
Charles live. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Haas were combating blooming Lewis Hamilton joining Ferrari, and then they had the other Ferrari driver going live on Instagram. Ah, my goodness me. Poor Haas. They really were fighting against the tide with this one. But I think it was just a coincidence.
It was just a coincidence. But yeah, Haas, yeah, they had it. They were up against it to try and create any kind of huge chatter and promo. But like I said, that they didn't even... They've got a new team principal, which we'll talk about in a bit. They didn't even present him. It's just literally just a render of a car. Nothing from the drivers, nothing from anyone else, which we always obviously joke about, oh, it's a bit boring when they go on and on for a car launch, but not even afterwards. Like, we've not even seen pictures of, like, I don't know, the new overalls or anything like that, from what I've seen at least anyway. So it is literally just, here's a car, goodbye.
This is the final question. Mega versus Primus. Has AO been too honest with saying they will be last in Bahrain? So to give you context, the new team principal has said that they will be towards the back, if not last, in Bahrain. How?
What a first statement to say at a car launch.
You can't that is why some people are like, oh Matt, that tweet's a bit harsh, isn't it? Because obviously I tweeted saying, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you 10th in the constructors. But there is no way
themselves are saying it.
Yeah. There is no way that a team is going to get any higher than 10th in the constructors, in my mind, if the team principal is already writing off their chances before the season's begun. And we know what Haas's development path is anyway. Usually they're okay at the start of the year because they've invested in a lot of development for that moment, and then they do maybe one more upgrade in the whole of the year, and then they're like, oh, maybe they'll be good then. If they're going to be rubbish out the blocks, that's not looking good.
No, exactly. What a thing to... And again, he's only being honest and a realist, but it's not the greatest statement to come out with when you're a new team principal. You're meant to be building this team up and going, I know things are looking bad and we're going to struggle, but we can get there eventually. Where's the ambition?
Yeah, anything.
Even if it is just unrealistic, a little bit of ambition. You've got to think the people there that, how is that motivating to hear stuff like that when you've just been working your butt off on building a Formula One car and the team principal's going, well, yeah, we're going to finish last, aren't we? Let's be honest.
Right, that is it, Tom Bellingham. And everybody listening and watching, thank you, as always. Thank you for the support yesterday as well on our Lewis Hamilton content, whether it's over on P1 or our brand new YouTube channel, Wheel Knowledge. Please go and subscribe to that if you haven't already. We've also got a video on there. Why has Lewis Hamilton gone to Ferrari for 2025? What are your final thoughts, Thomas?
My final thoughts are, yes, do go subscribe to that new channel because we've got lots more exciting ideas, and like we were going to tell you, and we did put some graphics out, but we changed our video anyway because of the Lewis Hamilton news, that don't worry, P1 is going to be the same. We said it on our Twitch stream and stuff, but in case you didn't know, don't worry about the level of content coming out on P1. It's exactly the same, and spruced up even better as well. So we're not doing a Haas, we're putting some effort in. One last Haas dig before.
That's because we believe we can finish better than 10th. That's the difference here, isn't it?
P10 with Matt and Tommy.
Yeah, we're P1. We have to work hard, mate. All right, thank you, everybody. See you soon. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.